Albert, and if it doesn't arrive, I think we will begin. If not, we will have to say thank you to Benedict again and invite Carlos to the table. Okay, so thank you. And then, Carlos, are you ready to give your presentation?
Yes, of course, I can.
Since you are not in the program, you will have to say the title of your presentation yourself.
Yeah.
Very fortunate that you could join since the second speaker was not present.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay, so I'm going to. Okay, so I'm going to.
Now it's in presenters mode. So if you could switch to the presentation mode, should be possible to.
You're okay. You're watching the presentation right now, or?
We are seeing the presenters mode. Yeah, not the presentation.
That is fine.
Right.
Okay. So hello to everybody. I'm Carlos Andrade. I'm a PhD student at the Center for Applied Mathematics of MIPARITech at Sophia Antipolis in France. So I'm working on modeling the energy and circular economy transition of the Sulpaca region in France. So today I'm going to present how I have been developing this work and how we have been integrating a circular economy perspective in the development of the energy system of the region. So first, the context of the study. The objective is mainly to analyze through a prospective model the different paths that the region can take in order to reach a low carbon energy transition and also to reach a circular energy system. So the main questions that we are studying is how we can integrate circular economy issues into the region's energy system long-term model. Also, how to decline the various national guiding documents into the regional energy policies. How and where to develop renewable energy potentials, and also how the region can contribute to national decarbonization goals. So how we have been modeling the energy system of the region. First, the region has been divided into 10 zones. First, to represent the departments, but the departments that are next to the coast have been divided into 2 zones: high consumption zones and low consumption zones. So here are the high consuming zones and low consumption zones. So in this way, this is because the high consuming zones represents around 90% of the energy demanded by each of the departments. And in general, these 3 consuming zones are representing around 80% of the energy demanded of the region. And more importantly, the high consuming zone of the Bouches-du-Rhône here represents around 50% of all the energy demanded of the region. So in total, we have 9 zones representing the departments and the high and low consuming zones. And we have also a 10th zone, which has been called Opaca. This is mainly to represent the power and gas networks. So each of the departments can send electricity or gas production to this network, and the rest of the departments can use this energy when needed. Also, we want to represent in this region some of the demand on which the regional energy policy doesn't have a direct impact on its decarbonization, mainly for aviation, for refinery, and also for transport, as some of the vehicles coming that consumes energy in the region comes from the rest of the France or from the rest of Europe. So in terms of production, the region just produces around 70% of the energy that it demands. This is highly concentrated in the high consuming zone of the Bouches-du-Rhône to produce electricity. It is used mainly natural gas, and in the rest of the department it is used hydro resources. To produce heat, it is used mainly biomass. So the methodology that we are using to analyze the energy system of the region is the TIMES methodology. So TIMES stands for the Integrated Markov-Efron System, which is partial equilibrium a model generator using a linear optimization paradigm, whose objective is to minimize the net present value, always and looks to satisfy the final final exogenous energy demand, respecting also the different constraints that the user can implement, such as limiting emissions. So in this way, the regional energy system details first the local available energy resources, how they are going to be transformed and then transported and distributed into the final energy sector, and how they are going to satisfy a final energy demand, final service and demand. It's important to say that the region is always interconnected with the French electric and gas network. So what is the perspective of circular economy that we want to implement in the development of the regional energy system? First, we can say that circular economy looks to dissociate economic growth from environmental degradation by redesigning the way of consuming and producing, and also by the application of the 4 Rs, mainly reduce, recycle, and recover, always seeking to minimize the consumption of resources and looking to produce zero waste, and also applying always a systemic approach. In this way, a circular energy system will look to maximize the reuse of resources. It also will prioritize the recovery of resources in order to increase the efficiency of the system, reduce emissions, reuse also products by giving them a second life, and integrating a shift in behavior in terms of how energy is consumed. So here there is a list of the different resources that can be mobilized in terms of a circular energy system. First, we can find we can recover some of the waste heat produced by industry, or we can recover heat by geothermal. Also, we can use the different wastes that are produced in the region, like municipal solid waste or agricultural waste. Also, we can rely on different renewable technologies. So how these different potentials can be used? First, waste heat can be used, recovered through heat networks that can be that will produce heat and water heating for the residential sector and heat for the industry sector. Municipal solid waste can be gasified, and it can produce syngas, or green waste and agricultural waste can be can produce biogas through methanization, and this biogas and syngas can be either used directly to produce electricity or heat, or they can be purified to be injected into, well, they will be purified and they will produce CO2 and CH4, and this CH4 will be injected into the transport network. This CO2 produced can be recovered and mixed with H2 that has been produced with through electrolysis, and this mix will produce also CH4 that will be also injected into the gas network. Also, we want to recover electric cars batteries to back up the electricity production from solar photovoltaic panels. So here are some of the characteristics and the technologies that are implemented into the model. We are mainly using the works developed by the GRC and the ADEME, and from the thesis developed by Remy Dudar. So in terms of demand, we have projected the demand using different factors, different drivers. Mainly for the habitat sector, we have been using the evolution of population and also the construction of new buildings. For the transport sector, we are using the evolution mainly of mobility demand in terms of kilometers. And for industry, we are applying a 1% increase in industrial activity up to 2050. So what are the scenarios that we are going to analyze? We are going to analyze today. First, the reference scenario, then the Duradet scenario and the circular economy scenario. In the reference scenario, we want to explore how the evolution of the energy system is going to be transformed according to applying past trends and also taking account some of the policies that have been applied by the region recently, mainly through the regional climate plan. The Duradet scenario. Duradet is the regional document where the region establishes the different policies for the development of its territory. So in this document, it is included the different policies for the development of the energy system. So we want to analyze how these policies are going to shift the development of the energy system of the region. And finally, the circular economy scenario, which tries to evaluate how integrating a circular economy perspective can shift the development of the energy system of the Sud-Paca region. So some other assumptions for the reference scenario. We have first, for the production side, here there are the different hypotheses that we apply following the past trends for the development of the different technologies. So each of these energies can be developed up to these amounts presented in this table. And some other assumptions are also applied, mainly decreasing by 50% in 2050 the electricity that comes from the rest of the France. Gas coming from the gas network can increase in around 10%. And also the region can use some biogas coming from the French network as well. For the demand side of the reference scenario, we are developing building renovation in 40% for the residential sector and 30% for the commercial sector. There can be a greater use of natural gas for vehicles in the transport sector. Bicycles can be used also to cover a share of the demand of private vehicles. And also we are applying here the projects the power to gas projects that have been established and have been planned in the region. So for the Duradet scenario, the main assumptions for the energy production side are detailed in this table, and we establish some similar assumptions with respect to the reference scenario, with addition of a decrease in the electricity coming from the French network in 50%. And also there is not going to be the development of new fossil power plants. So other hypotheses that are we implementing is mainly the using 100% of the building renovation potentials. Also, bicycles can cover up to 15% of cars mobility demand, and buses can cover 5% of that demand as well. And we have a shift in an increase in the number of people per vehicle, passing from 1.2 to 1.35 people per car from 2030. And we are also integrating the regional hydrogen plan. And finally, for the circular energy system, we want to mobilize 100% of waste heat from industry and wastewater heat. We want to use 100% of the potentials from sludge, and also use 100% of the potentials of the different waste present in the region. Also building renovations to 100%, and want to develop 15% of the carbon capture and usage CO2. So here there is going to be a shift in the number of people per vehicle from 1.2 to 1.7 in 2050, and bicycles can cover up to 70% of mobility demand, and buses can cover up to 7%. Also, there is going to be a more important development of air heat pumps, and also a greater development of wind energy and development of tidal energy. We also include in this scenario the regional hydrogen plan. So some results in the reference scenario, we can see that there is still a use of fossil fuels, but in the other two scenarios, there is no use of fossil fuels. Almost there is zero use of fossil fuels. So in the reference scenario, the use of fossil fuels has been reduced in 11%. And the most important development for the electric sector is seen in the ESRADE scenario, mainly by the development of climate depending technologies. But this development hasn't reached the 100% of the objectives established in the region. They have reached just 50% of these objectives. And we can see that the development of solar and wind technology have reduced the use of hydro resources in this scenario. Okay, so also we can see that wind technology, when wind technologies are available to be developed, they are developed as much as possible, and this is applied also for the tidal energy that has been developed in the circular economy scenario. In terms of the production for each of the zones, you can see that in the reference and in the ESRADE scenario, there is the production is still concentrated in the high consuming zone of the Bus-de-Rhône, and in the circular economy scenario, there is a more distributed production among the different zones. So hydro resources in all three scenarios have been developed mostly in the Vaucluse department, and wind energy in the ESRADE scenario is developed mainly in the high consuming zone of the Bus-de-Rhône, and also in the high consuming zone of the Alpes-Maritimes. And tidal energy in the circular economy scenario has been developed mainly in the high consuming zone of the Var, and also a little bit in the high consuming zone of the Bus-de-Rhône and the Alpes-Maritimes zone. So there has been a use of the electricity storage in all three scenarios, but the most important use of storage is in the circular economy scenario, where a greater part of the production has stored. This storage has used mainly batteries, so that have been developed mainly in high consuming zones, but also there has been a use of hydro storage, and this hydro storage has been developed mainly in the Alpes de Haute-Provence zone. In terms of energy demand, we can see that in the housing sector, is the circular economy scenario where the use of fossil fuels has decreased the most. This is mainly due to the use of waste heat that has been recovered through heat networks. It has covered some of the heating and water heating demand. This increased use of heat has decreased the use of biomass. And we can see that in all three scenarios, there is also an increase in the use of other renewable resources. This is mainly the use of heat pumps to recover ambient heat and using geothermal energy. In the industry sector, we see that oil products use has been reduced in all three scenarios. And we see that there is a very important role of the different sources of gases that can be produced in the region. Mainly in the circular economy scenario, the development of blended gas, which is a mixture of hydrogen with different, so the blended gas is the mixture of hydrogen with the other different gases. For example, the gas issued from methanation and also from methanization. So this gas has helped to reduce the use of other non-renewable resources with respect to the Esradé scenario. And also we can see that there is an increased use of electricity. In the transport sector, it's possible to see that there is still a huge use of oil products. And in the reference scenario, gas has been used to cover some of the mobility demand, but this use has been reduced in the Esradé and circular economy scenario as the demand has been reduced. We can see also that the use of hydrogen in this sector is very small, and this development has followed just the developments proposed by the different regional plans. So how hydrogen has been produced? First, the most important use of production of hydrogen has been produced in the circular economy scenario, mainly from the gasification of municipal solid waste. And the greatest producer of hydrogen is the Alpes de Haute-Provence, because the HyGreen project is going to be developed in this territory. And finally, CO2 emissions have been reduced the most in the circular economy scenario, mainly by the recovery of waste heat for the residential uses. So in conclusion, so the region is in the path towards the decarbonization of its energy system with the decrease of fossil fuels consumption and the development of clean technologies. The recovery of waste heat should be prioritized as it has proven to have a great potential to decarbonize the habitat sector, increasing also the efficiency of the whole system. The use of batteries to store roof photovoltaic production is key to allow a greater development of this technology. Also, it will be required higher efforts to allow the introduction of clean alternative energies into the transport sector. So hydrogen seems to be key to decarbonize this sector. And implementing a circular economy perspective in the development of an energy system can allow greater environmental results. Thank you very much. So I'm ready for your questions.
So thank you. So let's see if there are some questions in the chat or some signals from the audience. doesn't seem so, but I'm a bit curious on some of the results myself. It seems like there's still a lot of oil in the transport sector, in particular in the circular economy scenario. So what is your interpretation that fossil fuels are still used to some degree?
So first, because of the decreased demand due to the shifts in the behavior in consuming energy, hasn't allowed a greater introduction of hydrogen, and also we haven't implemented a greater hypothesis for the development of alternative energies for the transport sector. Also, the production of biogas has been developed at its maximum potential and has been used for industrial and habitat sector uses. So we can say that either we can use electricity or hydrogen for the transport sector. So in this case, it's needed to have a greater hypothesis for the development of this sector.
So does the model also include the possibility to use natural gas and steam reforming and carbon capture and storage to produce hydrogen for transport, for example? I mean, it could become
yes.
alternative. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it can. Yes.
And also one other observation I made was that I think you mentioned something that electricity production was more distributed in the circular economy scenario, which is also in some respect curious, but it may of course be a consequence of many different aspects. But do you have a gut feeling why this would happen?
Why this happened? I think because it is a less demand of electricity due to the heating demand. So because now heating and water heating demand has been mostly covered by the recovery of waste heat through networks. So in this aspect, the need of electricity has been decreased, which has decreased also the development of roof photovoltaic production, and we can see that. We can see that the most decreased use of energy is the electricity from roof photovoltaic in the Alpes-de-Haute-Provence and in the Vaucluse, as well in the Bouches-du-Rhône. So that's my analysis with respect to this question.
Very interesting work. I guess we need to check if there are some questions from the audience, and that is not the case. So then I just say thank you for your presentation, and thank you all for joining the session. Have a nice afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. And just before you leave the speakers, could you please upload your presentations or on your dashboard? And that's it. Thank you. That was very interesting, and have a good conference. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.